So we've had this this pause, as we've said, for COVID, as well as we're having a moment of racial justice, not a moment, but kind of reckoning at this point. So I'm going to ask the question from Twitter: what do you think the future of traveling looks like post-coronavirus? And I'm going to say, as well as in light of the Black Lives Matter current movement or the 2020 iteration, will it be more mindful, or will there be kind of a rush of people who have these pent up trips that they want to take? Or somewhere in between?
You know, I think at first, when this first started happening and people were getting really antsy within the first couple weeks, the first couple months, they were all like, oh yeah, this is gonna all pass in, you know, a month or two. I think when we were a little bit naive about what this pandemic really meant, yeah, people were definitely thinking about rushing back into travel. But now I'm seeing a lot more hesitation. You're seeing a lot of people, as time go on, I feel like more people are now starting to recognize the serious ramifications of, you know, traveling right now. And I think a lot of people are going to be more cautious, and it is a hotly debated topic, because I'm seeing it become such a polarized issue, just even in our own nation. You know, you have people who are either extremely against traveling or extremely for traveling and saying, hey, F it, let's do it. Let's take the risk, because YOLO, you only live once, right? But it is a very polarizing issue. So I think we're going to see a little mix of both, but I'm seeing more so in, you know, the communities that I am, the travel spaces that I am, I'm seeing a lot more caution than I am seeing, you know, this bravery to jump back into it. I'm seeing a lot more people who want to travel, but instead of traveling internationally, they're definitely thinking more along the lines of traveling locally and taking more road trips. I'm seeing people who were international travel influencers who built their entire businesses off of travel saying, you know what, I'm not taking the risk. I'm just going to take a road trip for now.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think, just to add on to Ashley's point, I mean, I think that it's the reckoning, as you kind of called it, is important, because we're also evaluating what parts of our lives we are able to separate out and which ones we're not, right? So like, I can't separate being, you know, Black dude with a big beard from my travel choices. And that means that something, as we look at what we're going to be doing, it is, we also recognize that our options also are tied in with our privilege, right? So our ability to choose different ways has a lot to do with who we are and who we are to others. And I think that right now we're recognizing that not everyone has the same options all the time. And that's something that we need to be able to allow to impact our decision making. So if we're saying right now, as we're coming out of recovery, that we're coming into recovery, we know that Black and brown communities were decimated by the COVID crisis in New York City at 2x the rate of others. Well, that's a lot has to do with the fact that those were frontline communities and communities that were in roles of being first responders and so forth. So when we're thinking about that, we're also thinking about, like, how does that impact our choice to be on public transit right now versus getting on a bike? Well, maybe we need to make sure that we're getting on a bike because we're also freeing up some of that social distance space on some of the public transit, you know, for others that may need it more. Like, that's a conversation that's okay to have. And it's okay for us to say that, like, we should be able to allow for who we are to each other to impact our decisions, and also to do it in a way that is in our collective best interest. So I want to see coming out of this a lot more integration of people saying that, like, yes, I want to travel. Yes, I want to experience different parts of whether it's my country or neighboring countries, but I want to do so in a way that also respects the fact that they have and we have you know, kind of a collective moment that we are undertaking that sets us on a path of being better stewards of each other. And so I think that's going to be something that I'm really excited to see play out. So I hope it does impact our decision making, and I hope that we are taking that passion in where we're going, who we're patroning, whether or not we're supporting lots of different businesses that can allow for more people to have access.
And also, quick thing to piggyback off of what Mark was saying, there is a there's a page on Instagram and an organization that just got started. It's called the Black Travel Alliance. I highly recommend everybody follow that organization, because they are doing the work to call out travel brands in particular to do the work to make sure that they're hiring, Black people to work in their businesses, that they are making their spaces more inclusive, that they are doing the work to make travel more inclusive, because there is a huge diversity problem in travel. So if we could, like he said, we need to start patronizing, these brands and these businesses, these travel companies that are making this a priority. And one way you can keep up with the latest companies who are moving in those directions and who are releasing the data to show what they're doing in these spaces is by following the Black Travel Alliance.